Hey y'all, it's another beautiful day in Middle Tennessee. This is episode 6 for the Keller Renee Life Coach channel. While I have you here, please like, subscribe, and share this video so it'll be easier for more folks to find us. Do it now while it's fresh on your mind. I'll wait. Hey, we've had some rain lately, so that means dogs are tracking mud into the house. The other day, Patty and I picked up some straw to spread around in the worst parts of the yard to keep the flow of mud coming into the house down. Well, I spread it early the next morning while it was still cool. Sitting on the deck, once I was done, I got to watch our hummingbirds enjoying breakfast. We have a feeder that attracts a regular gathering. They dart over for a little taste and then quickly scoot away, only to return a moment later. They are so persistent. I can learn a lot from them. First thing is, I don't need it all now. Second, I can go back to it. Some say we have to be consistent to accomplish anything in life. And while that may be true for some, I disagree. Maybe it's my ADHD and my inability to focus on some things for long periods of time, certain tasks. Being consistent can be helpful, but it's not the key to getting to where you want to go. I think being persistent is so much more valuable. Never giving up and going back to it is very effective. Being part of the LGBTQIA experience doesn't mean you have to go it alone or do it all now. Even when our brains tell us we want it when we want it, we can always go back to it. Is it okay to go slow at your own pace? It is. It's perfectly okay. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It's your journey, not theirs. I find that particularly true when trying to reconcile sometimes what the church says about our community versus what I know in my heart to be true. There's a passage in Proverbs I came across this morning. It says, guard your heart above all else because it determines the course of your life. One of the things that fascinates me about being trans is how many people I know who are straight deal with the same stuff I do. For instance, in 2019, I was diagnosed with adult ADHD. I knew I was different most of my life, but I could never put the pieces together. Was it because my gender didn't match my body, or was it something else? I don't know. I didn't have the language to describe how I felt, and it didn't really understand how our family dynamic impacted my early years. As I thought about my later diagnosis of ADHD, it kind of made sense. I was born to an Army family. My dad would continually volunteer for schools that created the need to move, and move we did a lot. I think by the time I graduated from high school, I had like 24 or 25 previous addresses. I was only 17. I only know that because when I enlisted in the Navy, I needed to provide all this information for enlistment. Changing schools frequently as I did, and being in the early 60s makes missing the diagnosis of ADHD no big surprise. So I was different, and I dealt with it. As I learn more about ADHD now, much of my history begins to make a lot more sense. That's only one of many things. What experience taught me was to keep moving, don't quit, take the next step. So I did. So I do. I thought about ADHD as it relates to the LGBTQIA plus community, and I found several studies that talked about how people in our community were prone to a higher percentage of impact. What I didn't find was anything specific to ADHD, but in terms of mental health as a whole, there were some that lumped ADHD in with bipolar and ODD and other stuff. It really would be interesting to see if anyone does any specific ADHD studies for the LGBTQI plus community. Now, I don't know how many of you follow the Enneagram. And if you don't know what that is, that's cool. I'll leave a link in the show notes. But there are 9 types of people in the Enneagram, and I'm a 2, the helper. I live to help people. Right on target. Absolutely nailed it. But that also means I tend to people please most of the time. That can be mildly dangerous. But hey, I figure I'm in good company with people like Dolly Parton, Eleanor Roosevelt, Nancy Reagan, Elizabeth Taylor, Melanie Hamilton Wilkes, and Eve Harrington. I'll tell you all this because as we travel this road called life together, tools like the Enneagram can be a helpful resource to allow us to understand ourselves a little better and provide language to some of the things we think and feel. I did want to let y'all know Boro Pride is coming up this weekend. For those who don't know, I live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's about 35 miles southeast of Nashville. And Murfreesboro, or Boro Pride, has been having the celebration for several years now. It's really grown tremendously, and it gives us a chance as folks in the LGBTQIA plus space to really celebrate together. This year we're going to be at a new venue, and it has a lot more space, and I think it's going to be a much larger celebration. So anyone who's in the area, I hope y'all can come down. I know there's going to be a bunch of people from Nashville coming down to visit, and I'm so excited to be able to see everybody again. And our sponsors are through the friggin' roof. We have national sponsors, a lot of local businesses. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day on Saturday. Now, I tell you all this for two reasons. One, to promote the event, and two, quite frankly, because I'm finally going to be able to connect with some folks I've only known through Facebook or Instagram. I commented to one woman today that whenever we meet people, even virtually, we make a connection, and sometimes so rare, you get that sense that they're my people. Such is the case with this person. Obviously, we won't get to spend enough time together to really connect, but I suspect it's going to be a beginning. There's also a lot of drama going on these days about masks in schools and who's looking out to protect their kids and grandkids, and with the rampant spread of COVID, and especially with the Delta variant. I don't get it. I mean, I just don't get school boards not requiring masks for our kids and the school staff to help keep everyone safe and the spread of COVID down. Ignoring the science at the expense of others just makes no sense to me. Now, some of you may not like hearing this, and I get it. You are certainly entitled to your opinion. And exercising your rights and opinions is fine until it crosses the threshold of putting someone else's life at risk. Your rights stop at that threshold, in my opinion. And this isn't meant to be political or anything other than recognizing the science and the expert recommendation of people who are much smarter than me. We're talking about the health and safety of our kids and the folks in our community who take care of our children. Brene Brown talks at length about being in the arena. It comes from the Theodore Roosevelt Man in the Arena quote. I don't know if any of you have heard it before, but Roosevelt said, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." It's tough in the arena. It's hot and sweaty and bloody. And I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm getting fired up. See, here's the deal. When you're in the arena, there's always people looking on and watching your progress. Sometimes they're cheering you, and sometimes they're jeering you. Who do you want to listen to? More importantly, who do you listen to? See, the people in the stands can be cruel and merciless. It's easy for them. They're not in the battle getting bloodied and getting their asses kicked. That's why I do this work. I want to create a trustworthy and safe space for you. What would happen if there was a group you could join and learn about yourselves and others going through many of the same things you do? We all want to get to that place of self-acceptance. We all want safe and inclusive spaces where we can be ourselves and share, yet we hold ourselves back. What would it be like to have a secure space where you could meet with other people traveling a similar journey? What would it be like to come to a group coaching program where you could hang out 3 times a week, get one-on-one coaching, and have the support of others going through the same things you are, and have the ability to learn and grow in your understanding of yourself? Oh, and if you missed the session, you can still catch the recording and pick up tips from others watching others being coached. On top of that, you stay connected with a group every day in a private Slack channel where you can ask questions, get coaching as things come up, and support others in the group. It's coming. I'm putting the pieces together now. It is going to be so cool to be able to connect with y'all and share and grow together, supporting each other along the way. It's going to get messy. I promise you, it is going to get messy when we start. And I'm going to make mistakes. And we'll have to fix some things and change stuff along the way. But I promise you, it's also going to be worth it. You can come for a month and leave, or you can come and stay for as long as you want. It'll be a monthly subscription plan, like I said, designed to bring you value and help solve some of the most pressing concerns you have. Our struggles, while they may seem to be specific to our community, are common to each other's experience. You'll learn how to improve self-acceptance, overcome imposter syndrome, and that feeling of not being enough, and help us grow in confidence. You'll learn how to relate better to yourself and others we interact with every day. I can hardly wait. This has been my vision for such a long time, and I am so excited. It's hard in the arena, and when we show up, it can take a lot out of us. That's where the power of community comes in. We can do so much more together. I want you to know I see you. I'm here for you. I love you. You're valued and oh so precious. And remember, life's too short. Be kind, do good. Until next time. And I hope we see you Saturday at Pride. It is going to be amazing.